What is going on, Eagles family? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I'm your host, Jimmy Smith, and tonight we are joined by special guest, Hollywood Evan Hearn.
What is up?
What's going on, brother? Evan
much.
is one of my buddies from 4th and Jawn. If you guys don't know, he is one of the co-hosts with Gail over there, and a guy that I have loved to become friends with, and I just enjoy having you on, brother. So thank you for hopping on this Friday night.
I appreciate you having me, man. I mean, it's keeping me off the streets on mischief night, which I mean, with me and my past, I'm known to get into a little bit of mischief. So I'm good. I'm good tonight.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about that before the show. You know, it's nice to grow up and have things to do, you know, but everybody out there, you be safe tonight. Watch out for them damn kids.
What's your favorite candy, Jim?
Oh, man. Reese's is usually the go-to that I accidentally have to take out of my son's bag on Halloween.
You got to make sure there's no poison in it.
Yes, exactly. I'm just telling always checking things for you. Now, I enjoy the gummies, too. So any gummy is also fair game for me.
Yeah. Do you ever have the Reese's Sticks, man? I'm telling you, those are killer.
Dude, any kind of variation of Reese's, I am game.
Yeah.
What is your favorite?
Dude, the Reese's Sticks. That's what I'm saying. Like,
that's your favorite? Okay.
The Reese's peanut butter is the best peanut butter that is on the market, in my opinion. That shit is delicious.
It's very true. Very true. And I think that if you guys want to send anything our way, you know, Reese's are welcome. No, I literally and I shouldn't be eating sugar like that. And I will just go ham during this time of the year. So I'm fearful,
yeah.
but I'm also looking forward to it.
But speaking of spooky, do you think Ben DiNucci is shaking in his boots this week, man?
Yes, I think that he is, he's out trick-or-treating. He's doing a good job. He's dressed up, trying to look like an NFL star, starting quarterback. I think that the costume, it's not going to get him far. People are going to see right through it. We're going to work that ass.
Absolutely.
Dude. I think that, we got a game changer here. Fast breaks. I remember when they came out when I was in high school.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. They are amazing. Yes, Mark. I think them and Nutrageous or Outrageous, whatever the hell they are. Oh, my God.
Dude, I visited Hershey, PA when they were testing out the Take 5 bar, and I got to be one of the inaugural triers of the Take 5 bar. That really was a game changer. I tried. I was like, this is a banging piece of candy. I wondered if we'll make it, and it's still kicking around today. That's solid candy.
I'll take 5. I'll take it. You know, I don't mind that either. One of the candy bars I tried when I was younger was 100 grand, something like that. That I always thought was weird for some reason. And I remember my buddy's like, dude, you got to try this. And I finally tried it when I was a little older. Man, I was missing out. So if you're
good,
I was going to say, if you're one of those people, go ahead and give it a try. Go ahead.
And dude, one of the most underrated candies, it just it's out there and everybody knows about it, but it doesn't get enough talk, is the Crunch Bar, man. Crunch Bar is killer.
It's true. I enjoy a Crunch Bar myself. You're getting me all pumped up. Damn candy now. We're starting this show off a little sweet treat for all you people out there. We appreciate everybody that's tuning in. Mr. Nasty, what's going on, brother? First time listener. Thank you for tuning in, man. I got my buddy Evan here, as you see at the bottom. Guy from 4th and Jawn. We're here to rock a little bit of bird talk. We're pumped up. It's Cowboy Week, baby. And anytime that it's Dallas Week, we get a little more excited. And I literally have been talking so much trash. It's unreal. To be 2-4-1 and to have the goal that I have, it's been something else, man. Here we go. We got 100 grand. Fight me from Alex. And that's our food guy right here. So if he's going with 100 grand,
that settles the score right there. He is the expert in the room right now.
It's true. It's true. So with that said, get your ass 100 grand. You will enjoy it. We got a Zag Nut.
I don't even know what the hell a Zag Nut is.
He's getting real out here. Now, one of the things I enjoy taking is the gummies, whether that be Twizzler, and I'll even throw in the Tootsie Roll flavored Tootsie Rolls. That's a little something in between that I do enjoy.
Interesting.
Oh, and that's exactly right, Mr. Nasty.
Yeah, that's what
Reese's
we discussed.
peanut butter. is the name of the game, the start of the show. That's the topic of the show tonight, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Thank you tonight. The show is brought to you. I wish I had one here. So
oh, my God. Reese's sponsor would be great.
I'd probably get the show. It would be banned, though. They'd be like, sir, you actually held up. I'm like, oh, well, things happen, but it's Dallas week. So, oh, my God, I am excited beyond belief. Had Gale on the other day. He came out with a little sweep the leg action. He said that you guys have been talking about on the show.
Yep.
I love that.
Show no mercy.
There's no mercy this week. I don't want to hear excuses. We laugh because the first few weeks, oh, well, injuries, they don't matter. This is the NFL. And you just next man up. Now, what are they saying? Oh,
we've been hearing that for years, Jimmy. We've been hearing that for years.
And here they go.
I mean, all of the previous years where Carson Wentz goes down with injury, and all of the jokes that I saw, the photoshops with Carson in a wheelchair, using a handicap spot, all that stuff. And listen, I'm not here to throw those jokes back in Dak's face or anything like that. I'm simply saying, this is what it is. The tables have turned. We are going into it with our first string quarterback. That sucks. You guys are going into it with your third string quarterback, but we're not going to take it easy on you for it. You're going to get that ass beat. That's what's around the corner. And I'm looking forward to it, man. I need an Eagles beatdown like I need air right now, man. Like all of these games, I feel like we've been playing down to our opponent. We've been coming in and the Eagles have a tendency to do that. We give good teams a run for their money and we play up to the opponent. And then when a bad team comes into town, we play down to their level. And that is not at all what I want to see. I want them to have the pedal to the metal from the first quarter all the way until the clock hits 0. I want them to nonstop score. I want turnovers. I want embarrassment. That's what I'm looking for.
I'm all about it. I would like some sacks, some turnovers. Come on, baby. No mercy here. I don't care. 7th round pick, James Madison. Is he going to pull the Joe Webb? Keep hearing this all out there. No. This is going to be an ass beating of epic proportions. And we've been waiting. It'll be 8 weeks now. And obviously the months going up to the season, we thought, this is going to be a great season. We've got younger and faster, everything. So sunflowers and peaches and everyone's so happy. Butterflies are here. It did not turn out that way in any way, shape, or form. So yes, Mr. Nasty says body bag game number 2. That's how they need to be feeling right now, getting that just anger inside of them. Like, look, we got to get pissed off. This is our division. We let it slip away in the beginning. We really looked like trash. But like you said, we played up to the competition. It's crazy. You almost come back and beat the Steelers, the Ravens. It's like, whoa. And then you lost to the Washington. That first game, it was like, well, what is this team? But, no Lane, no Miles. But we didn't know. Here it goes.
Preseason. That's what we talked about, too.
Yeah. Name of the game, injuries again. And, hey, now that I have you on, this time around, had you on a couple weeks ago, we're talking about this it got too much.
Yeah.
Some guys are coming back, man. Yes. And thank God, because, we've actually found some diamonds in the rough, but we've had some struggles. But one of the guys that I'm pretty excited about, I know you're pretty excited about.
Oh, yeah.
Jalen Reagor. Now, before we get too excited and I hear your thoughts on it, he did say today, he was like, I'm excited to see where I'm listed. He's trying to say, like, okay, now I might not play, but, dude, they said you're playing. You're good to go. His ass is playing, and I will not believe.
You better be out there. Yeah.
So they have a crap secondary, man. I'm going to be real with you. Those young guys, Trevon Diggs, he's not looking too good. I think we could really attack them. You got Fulgham, Ward. Hightower's trying to do his thing, has his mistakes. But, hey, I'm liking the young guys. And Reagor back in the mix. What are your thoughts on this? What's Carson Wentz going to look like? We can get to what the offensive line, obviously, we know how much that means. But what are you thinking about these receivers and Jalen Reagor being back in week 8 against the Cowboys?
I cannot be more excited, if I'm being honest with you. We really haven't had a full wide receiving core, it feels like, the entire year. We're still working on getting Ertz back. But the fact of the matter is that we have, the best thing that we've been presenting going into this week, if that makes any sense. I am so excited to see both Travis Fulgham and Jalen Reagor on the field at the same time, man. With this trash secondary, as you mentioned it, Fulgham is really coming into his own. the first couple games where he popped off, I was like, wow, like this kid, he's stepping up. And now, like, I'm starting to have these feelings. I'm like, dude, like we have a legit player on our hands here. Like this kid could potentially be a wide receiver one on this team. And what I'm excited for is to see him and Jalen Reagor fighting for that spot. We got some competition to fight over that wide receiver one position. Obviously, Greg Ward can hold down the slot. He's been consistent as hell for the past all season and last season. So, like, what I'm looking forward to is A, some consistency so Carson Wentz can build a relationship with these wide receivers. And B, man, Jalen Reagor's got the burners, bro. I'm expecting a bomb or some screens to pop off this weekend.
For sure. And
that's something. Sorry, that's something that I just feel like we haven't even had an opportunity to see yet with Reagor. I mean, at TCU, you look at his highlights and he's just running all, like he is so great from sideline to sideline. He can, in open space, he can just, take off and burn everybody. And if you get behind him, then he's gone. So like to have that kind of speed, and we've really only used him on the go routes. So like I'm really excited to see him in the screen game as well.
Yes, definitely. And, that's a great point. I think in week 1, you saw that one bomb. He had one catch, 55 yards, and then they missed on a couple there. Now, that was on the go routes. Now, the second game, he only had like 4 catches for around 41 yards, I believe it was. Mm-hmm. And those were all, shorter routes. And the thing is, people were pissed off about it. But I think what you need to realize is this kid can work, and not saying you, but people need to realize that he can work on all 3 levels. And I think they were finding a rhythm, and this line was beat up, and they weren't running screens, which was, driving us crazy, which we were talking about on the 4th of John show. Yeah. And it's like, okay, now they're starting to learn some things, I guess. But with him back, I think they will maybe, like you said, hopefully run some more. And whether he has some limited snaps or not, I still think that we are in store for a good time. And absolutely. You mentioned Fulgham, we had to try to be careful. We're like, okay, let's not get excited here. But then you're like, okay, he caught the game-winning touchdown that first game. We're like, this is wild. 2 catches. It's 2 catches. Then he comes out, balls out. And we're like, what? Every week just blown away. Yep. This kid, I've been seeing him everywhere. It's PFF throwing up. So he's the top rated since week 4. Then watching fantasy stuff, they're like, pick up Fulgham. This guy's been leading points. It's like, what? He's the real deal. And he's what J.J. Arcega-Whiteside was supposed to be in this offense, and we were lacking that. Alshon Jeffrey is the next name I want to get to. He's out again, of course. So he was supposed to be this X receiver, blah, blah, blah. Maybe they were putting on a front to try to trade him, but we got Fulgham now. So Fulgham, Reagor, Ward. What are you feeling about Alshon Jeffrey? You heard about some of the things Gail said about it. What do you think is going on here, man?
To me, like it smells pretty fishy to me, Jimmy. It smells like that he might be on the trade block and they are trying all efforts to move him. And quite frankly, all the wide receivers that we listed, I don't know where he fits in this offense anymore. I don't want to take Fulgham off the field. I don't want to take opportunities away from Reagor. He doesn't play the slot, so where does he fit? I mean, obviously we have a depth issue on this team because we have an injury issue on this team. And so that is a fear of mine that if one of these guys that we listed goes down, then obviously he would be a huge help. But, that's not a thing to look forward to. And I think that Alshon Jeffrey was a good player. I think he had a great he obviously contributed to a Super Bowl, which we're forever thankful for him here. But it almost to me feels like his road is just over here. And it's not a shot against him or anything like that. It's just, I don't know where you fit in the offense anymore, man. And I'm looking forward to winning more going forward. I'm not in here for the nostalgia type of, you know what I mean? Having guys out there just for the sake of nostalgia. Yeah, exactly. It's 2020. The offense is building. It's going in a new direction. And I want to keep with what's working.
Yep. And, Mr. Nasty here. I love saying it every time. Yeah. Reagor, Fulgham, and Ward. Yep, that's something we talked about. I made the graphic, and some people, where's Arcega-Whiteside? Because I slapped up 5 receivers, and I said, no, I'm not putting them up there. And I put the 3 mentioned here, Reagor, Fulgham, and Ward, and then Hightower and Watkins. Haven't seen much from Watkins yet. Hightower's had his struggles, but I actually like what I've seen from him in progression from his route running and things like that. Needs to work on some things, but that's all right. That's some of the issues he had anyway. Now, regardless.
Let me ask
How
you
do
a
you feel
question.
about Arcega-Whiteside? Is what I was going to ask.
Well,
Go ahead.
that's kind of leading to my next point. So,
I was going to say, let's intertwine.
Yeah. So my question to you really is that, like, so we got Arcega-Whiteside in the second round, and Fulgham just ended up being a guy we picked up off practice squad, total diamond in the rough. And you're right in that Travis Fulgham is what Arcega-Whiteside was supposed to be. So, like, to me, I have a little bit of difficulty, like, giving Howie the nod on, like, I'm glad that you found Fulgham. I'm glad that it all worked out. You know, it is what it is. If Fulgham just replaces Arcega-Whiteside, all is well. But, like, there's only so many times that he can mess up on these draft picks. And there's only going to be, like, you don't just find diamonds in the rough every year. You know what I mean? He got lucky. I feel like it's one of those situations where, you know, a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while. You know what I mean? So I don't like, I think the pressure should remain on Howie in regards to going towards the next draft. I am not too comfortable with him being in control of the board. I don't trust that he's just going to find these random diamonds in the rough. I want to have a legit football mind out there that is diagnosing our issues and, you know, solving them.
And wouldn't it be great if they not only hit in the draft, but did that and found the diamonds in the rough?
Exactly. That is what do both, Howie. Exactly. That is what builds a winning organization.
Does Daryl Morey do any football?
Yeah, right? Can James Harden play linebacker? I don't.
Sixers making moves, so Eagles, let's go. I honestly, you know, Alshon has been great, but you mentioned it. You know, where does he fit in? And I don't want to give him time for any of these young guys. I want to see what Watkins has and Hightower has in depth. We mentioned the three starters. That's Ward, Reagor, and Fulgham, baby, all day. Yep. Fulgham is that X guy. Arcega-Whiteside, man, you've been playing like 10 snaps, if that. He fell on the football. Woo! Great hustle, buddy. Happy for you. But I need to see you catch the damn balls as a second-round pick. And what's crazy is Aguilar, he's the first-round pick. Now, that's Chip. Now, either way, he's a first-round pick. Now we have Greg Ward. So Howie did find these diamonds in the rough to be our starters, I guess. But I try not to – I was really hard on him for a few weeks there. And now I'm trying to be like, okay, there are some practice squad guys, but I'm still pissed he has too much say. But we'll leave that for another time. Yeah. But, you know, Alshon – I'll see you later, buddy. This offense, some young guys. So we talked about the receivers, excited about that. Now, one thing I'm not so excited about is Mr. Miles Sanders being out again this Sunday. So we got Boston Scott, Corey Clement, and Jason Hundley again. What are you seeing from these guys? I know the Cowboys have a bad defense, but I mean, they do have talent there, man. So how do you see Boston Scott and Corey Clement? How do you see the running back room playing out without Miles this week?
I think it definitely helps in the fact that the Cowboys defense has been underperforming across the board. DeMarcus Lawrence has been completely lost this year. He's like not living up to that contract at all. They, just traded away Everson Griffin, so that's not going to be an issue this week. So it's going to be porous, their defensive line. And the thing is, dude, Boston Scott is a giant killer. He does great against the Giants every year. I don't know if we can bank on him to have that sort of consistency every game. We can bank on a guy like Miles Sanders to have that kind of consistency because he's a really good player. Boston Scott is a good, serviceable player, but he's not up to Miles' level. And so while I want to draw up a game plan that gets Boston Scott involved, I'm not so sure if he's going to be as effective as he was last week. And, our offensive line got a little bit better this week as well. We got Lane, we got JP. That's a story that's a conversation we could have right now as well. What are your thoughts about JP coming back in the tackle position as opposed to the guard position?
Well, that's something that I definitely want to get into. You saw that today Lane Johnson was a full participant in practice, looking like he is going to play. So my thoughts on it were definitely predicated off of what was going to happen with Lane Johnson. And this sucks because I think all of us are blown away by what we've seen from Jordan Mailata. And, if Lane was out, I thought, okay, That's the only way I accept Jordan Mailata going over to tackle and JP playing left tackle. Now, if Lane's playing, my thought process was all week that no, Mailata stays at left tackle, and you have damn JP at guard, not Pryor. Yep. But it sounded like Doug Peterson today was saying that, Nelson Aguilar, it did really well for him to sit on the bench and watch. And it was like, whoa, what are you saying? So it sounds like he's actually going to bench Jordan Mailata for Jason Peters' old ass, 38 years old, injury prone, penalty ridden. And I'm happy you came back to provide us for depth, but damn it, this is pissing me off. And, you asked me, so I'll tell you what, I'm pissed off. I do not like JP being at left tackle. I think Mailata needs to go through those growing pains. I think this was a good game to learn. These are good edge rushers, regardless of them being a bad defense. Van Der Esch is back in that defense, makes them much better. They lost Griffin, though, so that is a huge loss. But they still have some talent. Alvin Smith, Lawrence has sucked, though. Jalen Smith there. But I think we really need to capitalize on letting him have that time.
Yeah.
The bye week's coming, all this.
And that's just the thing is that, like, we talked about, like, Mailata and him coming into his own over these past few years. And to be honest with you, I would like to personally repent because I said I am done with the Mailata project at the beginning of the year. That was my words, and I would like to take that back because Mailata has made huge strides since then. And, like, to me, it doesn't make any sense to say, like, if Doug's thought process is he wants him to sit back and take a gander at what Jason Peters said, that's what he's been doing for years already now, man. Yeah. And he, you know what I mean? He's already been doing that from the IR. He's been watching Jason Peters, learning from him, and now it's time to showcase what you learned. And he has been. He's been doing well. And he's also coming out there with, I'm sure you've seen the highlights of him getting a little bit chippy after the plays. Like, that's exactly what I want out of my offensive tackles, man. And, like, Jason Peters, he's a shell of his former self. Like, he's a Hall of Famer, no doubt. But, like, he's not in his prime anymore. And Jordan Mailata is a guy who was sitting behind Jason Peters in the back end of his prime, learning from him, and obviously learned a lot because he's been doing well. And, like, to me, I think about it like kind of similar to the hockey mantra. If you don't want to take, the hot goalie out, like, I don't want to take the hot player out, man. If he's performing well, why are you going to take him out and screw up the whole chemistry of what you have going on?
Well, that's the thing. Every week, it's a different offensive line. So why the hell are you messing up the chemistry? Like you just said, it's like, wait, what? And, what we were hoping for in Andre Dillard, got hurt, so we have no idea what we have in him. We were hoping in a year he could learn from JP. It looked like in those few years that, everybody was on his ass, myself included. Mailata, if you don't show up this year, that's it, man. Yep. Well, guess what? Like you just said, he has shown up against the Steelers, the Ravens. What?
Yeah.
He did well against the Giants. He's had his struggles, but my God, if he hasn't blown everyone out of what they had in mind for what this kid was going to be this year.
Now, let me ask you this. Do you think it comes down to money? Do you think it comes down to the fact that JP was bitching about wanting to be paid more to play tackle, and then they gave him the money to do so, and then they're going pretty much now, all right, well, we're going to get our money's worth out of you now because we paid you to play tackle, so that's what you're going to fucking do. You think that's what it is?
That's what kind of team we are. Like, well, I'm going to be right. So I had my money spent on this. It's like one of those people, I spent
not for the betterment of the team. Like, come on, man.
Do you remember when the Seahawks, they paid all that money? Who was it? Matt Flynn, I think his name was.
Yeah.
But they drafted a kid named Russell Wilson instead of us. And this kid just balled out. And they're like, you know what? He's good, so why don't we play him? He might have some growing pains, but he's going to probably be pretty awesome. Yeah. That's what we're seeing from Jordan Mailata. I'm not saying he's the Russell Wilson, the left tackles here, but I'm just saying he's coming out and balling, and you just said it. He learned from one of the best himself, and he has one of the best, if not the best, offensive line coaches in the damn game in Jeff Stoutland. So,
right.
What? What are we doing?
Exactly.
It's how
exactly.
I don't, to answer your question, yes.
And I don't want to see that same sort of sentiment in any of the other positions. Because if that's the case, like Travis Fulgham is making pennies on the dollar, I don't want Alshon Jeffrey to come back simply because he's making more money.
I'll go beat their ass myself, Evan.
Like, it wouldn't make any sense. So why are you doing it?
Yeah. I promise you. They get rid of him for any. Howie, it feels like I said a little bit earlier that I was trying to take it easy, but taking that off for a second, because this is the stuff that pisses me off when you're talking about this and it's like, is this because money? We're not winning games. Is this, we're not doing what's best for the team? JP, threw a little tantrum. Oh, we all thought I walked in the office and said, I'm going to do it. No, that's bullshit. Got more money. Wah, wah, wah. Plays left tackle, gets hurt. Oh, we all knew that was going to happen. So now the Eagles are like, well, screw that. We're giving him left tackle money. His ass is playing left tackle. So now he's going to go out and, Mr. Nasty says it here. He's not going to last the full game. He's probably going to get hurt, mess up the whole flow of the offense. Mailata's going to be like, oh, well, now I suck. I can't even play. So, good job, Howie. I'd like to kick his ass right now. I'm going to be real with you.
Exactly. And like to me, I mean, I was never an offensive lineman, so I don't know the position as well as someone that did play the offensive line, but someone who's as injury prone as Jason Peters and is obviously on the back end of his career, probably his final season. Wouldn't it make sense to plant him between two future Hall of Famers in Kelsey and Lane Johnson, and he can have that assistance on either side of him? Like, to me, that makes sense. Instead of just trying to seal an edge where, he's jumping fucking off false start all game, or he's just, getting rolled up on. I think to me, it makes sense to have him in the guard position, but he's not making that guard money.
Yeah, and he's getting beat outside because he's getting slower and older. So it's like, I'm not saying guard's easier. There's every position has, and everybody's like, oh, you can just switch to this side. That's not how it works.
That's not how it works.
And he was trying to learn right guard. It's like, I would love to see if he would have learned left guard at first, but weirdly enough, we didn't know we had Herbig, which we talked about in the offseason, but here we go again with people have to get hurt till we see these players. But I'm still like reeling from the fact that we've had so many injuries and we've had to wait to see some of these guys. And I'm happy though that we've, what's going on, JJ? But I'm happy that, we've got to see some of these diamonds in the rough get to show what they've got. And
what's promising out of Mailata though, man? Speaking of him watching Jason Peters, he's got that same leg kick, dude, off the line.
Learning from him, man.
He is. He's got the same leg kick.
Yep. Sorry, I missed your comment here about Scott as our new Sproles. Yeah, I hope so, dude. It's gonna. I wish that was the case, but you've seen a lot of evidence to prove otherwise. So he better step it the hell up. He's serviceable, like Evan
said.
Sproles
light. He's like diet Sproles.
But we talked about, I love that. We talked about in the offseason adding a running back too, because Scott's a 3. I'm not even gonna waste any more time on it because. Nope. Now Miles has been out forever,
but I agree with Mr. Nasty's sentiment that we need a power back. I completely agree with that. Like, we are missing a LeGarrette Blount-esque running back on this team badly.
Yep, and that's something I 100% agree with. Now, Mark mentioned here, bring Jordan Howard back. We didn't want to give him that kind of money, but we need money next year. Blah 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 blah. But I think a power back would take you a long way. Would you be interested in trading for Jordan Howard? Maybe try to restructure him.
I would be interested in that. It all comes down to what it's going to cost, though, ultimately. I mean, we talk about how bad Howie is with the draft, but at the same time, I don't want to just be giving away draft picks. You know what I mean? So I'd like to know what the price would be. If it's like a 5th rounder, I'd be game. We got 2 of those that we got for next year.
Great. Now, Holyfield's being mentioned here. I think that part of the reason you're not seeing some of these practice squad running backs, I think you possibly would have had a chance with some of these games with Miles out, but because of the injuries to everywhere else, we've been having to promote defensive tackles, offensive tight ends, cornerbacks. It's been ridiculous. So Holyfield didn't look like he didn't make the roster, so obviously he didn't ball out, but I don't think he's progressed to a point where he's...
But neither did Fulgham.
Yeah. So that's the crazy thing. It's like, that's where I was just going to say. So I don't know if he gets an opportunity where Miles is out. It's like, why not have a power back? We won a Super Bowl with the same style of offense you're trying to run. Clearly it changed when Foles came in, but I'm saying you got there by running that damn ball and you started running it more when Carson went down, but you saw, if I run with 2 monsters in J.H.I.E. and LeGarrette Blount, it might just work.
That offensive line was a lot more sure in 2017, though, for sure. Do you think, just quick aside, do you think Brandon Brooks sees the field this year?
Jeez. You know what?
That dude is a cyborg, man.
Watching him jump, I was like, okay, maybe he does play.
Dude, if he steps on the field even one time, he should be comeback player of the year for the amount of time. It's insane how this guy bounces back from injury. It's absolutely insane.
He's a monster, dude. Straight robot coming out, just putting videos where you're like, wait, I thought, oh, okay. Yeah. But if he would come back, we'd talk about all the people that are coming back in the second half of the year. You know, it's like, oh, Rager's coming back right now, getting Goddard back, Driscoll. Hopefully Lane gets healthy through the bye. Talking about getting healthy, getting a line that can produce a little bit like we used to have. Obviously missing some big pieces there. But, I mean, I think we could still build on things. And if Brandon Brooks would come back,
that would solve a lot of our problems. That would solve a lot of our problems. For sure.
Dude, I'm like just thinking about it. Like, oh, Lord Jesus. But, JJ, I'm hyped. I know Evan's hyped.
Oh, I'm hyped.
I'm losing my mind. These young receivers, we talk about it. It's something we talked about in the last couple of shows. I'm very excited for these receivers. And I think if we had an offensive line, that's the thing we always come back to. Carson would have more time to actually see some things. And these receivers would actually be able to run their route and know what Carson expects when the play is broken. You know, these are things you don't learn on the fly. Well, you're going to have to learn on the fly, but you usually learn it preseason, things like that, right?
How good? Yeah, absolutely. But how good would you be feeling if Carson Wentz how good would you be feeling on Monday if Carson Wentz throws 400 plus yards, bro? Like, I need a big time game, man, out of this team. I really do. There's been too many close calls. Like, I literally need a curb stomping this weekend, man. I need a curb stomping.
I'm with you. And, you know, you see these names right here at the bottom. I think now that Wentz has himself some firepower, and talk about Lane being a full participant, JP back, if he stays healthy, whatever, Mailata comes in if he doesn't. Let's try to be positive here. Hopefully Pryor improves and does what he did last year. I don't know what the hell's going on there, but Urbig, let's get this offensive line blocking. Hopefully we get some kind of run game out of Boston to at least not make us one-dimensional. But yes, open the door for Carson Wentz just to beat some ass. I think he could definitely throw for over 350, 400. Hell yeah, why not? I love it. I had him throwing for over 350, and I thought, well, yeah, why not? 400? Woo! All
Sign
about
me
it.
up.
Sweep the leg. All about it.
No
I think he could throw for
mercy.
4 touchdowns, too.
That would be fucking amazing. I tell you what.
Rager, a couple bombs. Fulgham, a couple in there. Maybe Ward.
Here's the thing that's got me a little bit hesitant is the fact that after Fulgham's second big game, I think it was the game after he went for 10 yards and for 10 receptions and 152 yards. It took him until pretty much like a few plays before the second half to get him involved in the game plan. Yeah. That is something that really not only irks me, but concerns me. Like, these players are like, you have your clear-cut playmakers on this offense. Get the ball in their hands. Why are we taking so long? Why are we dinking and dunking to Richard Rodgers so many times when we could be taking the ball downfield to Fulgham? Like, that's the thing that, like, I think Doug is just simply like outsmarting himself, and he's thinking, well, everyone's thinking I'm gonna go Fulgham, so I'm just gonna go Dick Rod. Like, dude, fucking throw it to Fulgham if he's open. Like, that's what I don't get. I want to see the playmakers worked into the offense earlier in the game.
After seeing him go for that 10-catch, 152-yard performance after that first game where it was like, oh, damn, you expected, okay, this kid had 2 good games. Well, let's see what he did. And we talked about it before that game. That was the Ravens game you were mentioning.
Yep.
And it was, okay, we're going to find out this kid's the real deal because he's going against a secondary where it doesn't matter which corner it is, and Marcus Peters, Jimmy Smith, and the best one, Marlon Humphrey.
Yep.
Yeah, and I thought in the first half, okay, they're good corners, so they're shutting him down. It's understandable. But when you're not making it happen with other people, okay, Carson, I thought to myself, I know he's only had 2 games, but you got to trust this kid a little bit here, Carson, in the second half, and let's please start giving him the ball. Well, started giving the ball. He had like 6 catches, whatever. That needs to happen. So I think Doug at that moment was like, holy shit, we better feed this kid the ball because he's even catching it when he's getting covered by 2 of the best corners in the game. Yep. And it was wild to see, but I think you are going to be able to see a lot more of that now that you have someone like Jalen Reagor in this offense.
Yes.
He's going to take the top off. So you don't know which one's going to, because they can both do it. They can, I'm excited, man.
And another Dallas killer, Dallas himself. He'll be back this week, won't he?
He's been trying. He said that he's been practicing, but he's still on the IR. He hasn't been technically taken off, but he said he wants to make sure he can block. He wants to get his footwork right. He wants to be able to plant and, be able to cut and do his thing.
Wow. A tight end that wants to block.
But could you imagine having him back this week? Like him and Rager, I think he's seeing him like, you little shit. So,
yeah.
I mean, holy hell.
They'd be fighting for catches, man, and that'd be a great fight to see.
Yeah, and he had like 2 injuries, right? Didn't he have like a shoulder and his damn ankle or something? It's like, this guy's a lot to deal with. Yeah. I think these guys are all coming back for that exact reason, JJ. They know what week it is. You saw Darius Slay's comments like, I didn't know these guys were so serious. Yeah, we're serious. And we're a little bit excited about whooping the Dallas Cowboys' ass because we know we have them. I love it that Gail says, they're on one leg, man. They're wobbling. Sweep the leg, baby. Be brutal.
I'm very thankful to be in a fan base that has like such a killer rivalry like this. Like this is truly one of the like top tier rivalries in all of sports. Like there's, the Yankees Red Sox rivalry, there's, Cowboys Giants, there's this, dude. And like this is one of the premier ones. Imagine being part of a fan base like fucking Jacksonville. Like who's their rivals? I don't even know. Like
the damn Titans. Yeah.
Is there anybody that their fan base gets up for and just like sees red and like there is nothing to me more aggravating than a Dallas Cowboys fan that's never stepped foot in Texas. There's this kid I know he was a grade below me. I graduated high school in 13. So he graduated in 14. He was born in probably like 95, 96. And anytime we're talking about it, he's a Dallas Cowboys fan. He's hanging on to these Super Bowls. So five rings. I was like, dude, you were in diapers for the last one. Like, you don't remember any of them, bro. Shut your mouth. It's like, I got to go to the parade. I got to go to the parade. Did you get to go to the parade? I did.
Exactly.
And you know what's funny about him? His whole family is Eagles fans. He was at the parade. He was at the Eagles parade. I was like, you motherfucker, bro. It's like, you don't belong here.
Should have hung him by his underwear or something. Yeah. Not like, I mean like hanging, not like hanging by something. But yeah, no Cowboys allowed, but they had to taste what glory tastes like. So I don't blame a Cowboys fan for wanting to be there because that's something they're not going to taste for a very long time and haven't tasted for not even this century. So talk about when I was a young boy, I watched that and I hated them. I grew up, obviously, diehard Eagles fan from birth, but I was taught to hate the Cowboys. But I hated them because they were winning when I was a kid. And then, as the years have gone by, I'm like, well, it gets easier. And you're just like, wait, no, you really suck, dude. Like, you really do. And there's these bandwagon people that just, trophy. It's like, dude, you weren't even alive. You weren't at a parade. You never even been there. Those were half the people from my school, dude. And I'm like, what part of Texas did you come from? Right down there. It's like, bro, like what the fuck? They were all winning at the time. Like, so it was like Yankees, Cowboys, Lakers, Devils, whatever at the time. Dude.
There was this, I don't know how this is going to make me sound, but there was this girl I used to work with at the restaurant I used to work at. And she was diehard Cowboys fan. And so naturally we would go at it. And I asked her one day, I was like, how did you become a Cowboys fan? Naturally. Well, my dad's a Cowboys fan. How did your dad become a Cowboys fan? Well, his mom painted his room blue when he was younger. I was like, I straight up looked her in the face. I was like, I hate to break this to you, but your dad's a fucking loser. Like that.
That makes you a real man. Appreciate you having you on because that's real talk. You need to get the message across to people like that. That is
it's dumb.
Disgusting.
Gross. We got no time for it in this city.
Dude, I had someone message me that the one time. They're like, I just loved the colors when I was a kid. I'm such a diehard. And I was like, block. Yeah. I apologize. I grew up differently. That's what this is all about. And I love all you guys out there. It doesn't matter how you became a fan, but we're just busting balls.
Just messing around. Just messing around.
But it's fun to bust the Cowboys fans' balls because there's so many, like you said, and it's like,
and they get so butthurt too. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing better than when a Cowboys fan gets their back up against the wall and then they just pull
because they don't have any knowledge.
Exactly, and then they pull the 5 rings card and like that's what they fall back on. I was like, all right, so I guess you're done the conversation. I guess
whenever they say that, this is what the 5. This is how you reverse the 5 rings on them. I gave them 5 things. I need 5 players on this team right now other than Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, or Amari Cooper. I need you to name me 5 players right now. Go. And I promise you, they'll all, you got to get them in person because if they're online, they're going to use Google.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, it's embarrassing
Once they start saying Tony Romo or some shit.
Yeah. And it's like, if you're going to come at me correct. And half these people don't know what they're walking into. Because I was talking on the show the other day about the fact that as much as I'll see an Eagles fan, it's always go Birds. You're always yelling at others. Whenever I see a Cowboys fan, it's the same. But it's not go Birds. It's, some other things. And it depends on the age or what we're dealing with there. But, everybody's getting it. And especially during Cowboys week. I haven't had the pleasure of seeing too many, but I have yelled throughout the car seeing some because these guys, you know how they are. They try to, I'm in Pennsylvania wearing Cowboy stuff. I'm tough. Yeah. It's like, all right, dude, go in your truck and shut the, all right, dude. Like, sorry, not trying to. But
this is how fired up we get on Cowboys week, man. Like, this is the type of energy that this doesn't exist every single week. This is a certain week that we get up as fans, and like I get out of bed every morning, like leading up to this game with like a pep in my step, man. Like I am just itching to watch that game this weekend. I'm glad. I'm hoping it doesn't end up getting flexed. That would be really embarrassing. But I'm thinking that because of the rivalry, because that the fan bases each are massive, like both Dallas and Philadelphia have massive fan bases following them, that it stays in that slot. But it's the game of the week in my eyes, and a lot of other people's eyes.
Hell yeah. And, we all have great memories. And that's the thing. The NFL can't deny it. This is a great rivalry. Mm-hmm. And, hey, we're fighting for the top seed in the division, baby. So got to play that damn game. If they try to change it, I will be beyond pissed. But I really think that we need to get after them this week, and the defense has looked improved at times, but the injuries, blah, blah, blah. One of the guys that's out that really, it's a bummer, was Cre'Von LeBlanc. And, he actually struggled a little bit last week, but the fact remains that we are still pretty low. Also out is Craig James. So we're down to having Nikel Roby-Coleman, Darius Slay, Jalen Mills. I mean,
and Nikel Roby-Coleman hasn't been living up to what we've been
not at all
to do this year. That's been tough.
And Avonte Maddox is back, who also has struggled greatly. So they have some pretty damn good receivers. So I want to ask you whether or not it's Ben, not delivery, it's DiNucci. Do we have to worry about him throwing to these receivers, Cooper, Gallup, CeeDee Lamb? They're still good receivers, and we know that the secondary does have its struggles at times. Do you think with LeBlanc and James being out that they have a chance? I mean, as much as we all get hyped, and we are hyped, could they have some receiving yards? I mean, if you were a fantasy expert right now and you didn't care about anything, would you think that these receivers could still do something this week?
I would say that they have a chance, but I think the real key is Jim Schwartz. To me, it's not his MO, but he needs to dial up some blitzes, man. He needs to get to the quarterback quick, make sure that you get to them before he can get that ball out. And really, I'm talking like the first quarter, especially, like I want him to be uncomfortable. I want him to be hearing footsteps and like for the rest of the game. So if you can put him on his ass a few times in the first quarter and just really shake him up, and then he maybe sometimes he just thinks a pass rush is coming. He gets that ball out. It's inaccurate. That's what I'm looking for. I want to see some blitzes this week to counteract our poor secondary play.
That's exactly how I feel too. You got to get to him early, get him scared, whether or not it's there or not. He's still spooked out. It's Halloween, baby.
It is Halloween.
So I think that you got to get him flustered. We talk about the defensive line getting there. I'm excited. Now, one of the weird things that came up this week, someone just asked a question, so I'll jump into that real quick, was Will Parks, man.
I know. And you were so pumped for him, bro, as was I.
And I still am. And the first week he played at over 40 snaps. I think it was like 41, 42, something like that. And then last week he played 17 snaps. So I thought he was taking the role of Nate Gary. I thought all these things were happening. I was really excited for him in this defense. I thought, okay, safeties are banged up. This guy's going to get time. Now, he's not getting time. I get it. Like, oh, it's a crowded room. You got Rodney McLeod, the only proven one. I love Kayvon Wallace, what he is ceiling here. But right now, let's calm it down. Jalen Mills hasn't proven anything. then Epson Ford, your special teams guys. Like, what? Epps sometimes plays defense because Jim Schwartz loves him, but give me a break, man. Are you okay with getting rid of Will Parks, dude? Like, does that seem like a good move to you?
It doesn't, especially with the lack of depth that we have in both the linebacker position and in the secondary right now. Like that to me, when I saw him on the trading block, it was a real head scratcher for me. I'm like, of all the people on this team, this is the guy that you're willing to part ways with. We're so thin in that, and he's so versatile. He can play safety. He could drop down to linebacker, and those are both positions that we could really use an extra body right now. So for him to be on the trading block, it was kind of confusing to me. I don't exactly understand what they were trying to get in return for that. But like to me, this week with the Everson Griffin trade that the Cowboys made, that kind of was a signal to me that they're almost packing it in. They're like, all right, our starter quarterback's injured. Andy Dalton's got his brain scrambled. We're on DiNucci right now. The season's looking bleak. So we're just going to pack it in and try, get the best assets we can get for next year. And, the Washington football team, they're a dumpster fire and a half. The Giants are a dumpster fire and a half. This is our division to take. It's going to be hard to lose this division. And so, like, if that's the case, why are we selling assets at this point? Assets that we could really use. Like, I get that, like, the people out there that are like, yeah, well, we're not going to do anything when we get in the playoffs anyway. So, we should just be trying to, get the best draft pick, blah, 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 blah. Dude, come on, bro. We're going to win the NFC East. Like, and the other thing is that all those people that are saying that, like, I really want to ask them after this Cowboys game and the following Giants game, when we should be 500. Are you guys still done with the year? Are you still done? Because we're 500 right now. We got the rest of the season ahead of us. And quite frankly, this is such a weird season. Who knows what'll happen? Who knows who's going to get injured, and that's going to be a crucial injury for a team and knock them out of playoff contention. Who knows who ends up getting diagnosed with COVID, and that takes them out of the lineup for a few weeks and really hurts a team's record. Who knows? So what? Don't pack it in yet.
That was literally my topic of the show last night. Like, give me a break, man. We aren't the only team that goes through things. You saw Dak Prescott go down. You see last year, Mahomes went down. So many things happen where who knows if when it's the week we face him, maybe we win, and maybe it's playoff time. So why give up now when there's so much time for this team to grow its young guys and to get people back healthy? Yeah. So now the only thing I could think of when I was sitting there trying to break it, I'm like, okay, why are we putting Will Parks? Like, what the hell, dude? Because you look at the fact, especially right now, where you see a guy like Nate Gary who blows, but he gets put on the IR. So you don't even have a guy that plays 95% of your effing snaps. So now you want to get rid of another guy who helps in that role. He's not a linebacker, but he plays in the passing downs. And right. You're getting TJ Edwards back. That's good for the rundowns. But I'm confused. But the thing is, if we have any depth anywhere, it's safety. And that's the only place we have it. So if we're looking for help, which we should be at linebacker or cornerback number 2, or maybe some defensive line help with all the damn injuries we get there now too, then you talk about the offensive line, running back number 2. Wow. So maybe that's the only reason they'd get rid of Parks is because it's the only damn position we have depth, and it's the only guy you could trade. Nobody cares. Like, hey, guys, I was wondering if you were interested in Marcus Epps or possibly Rudy Ford. Like that's not even worth your time. So I guess I get it, but it's still.
I will put some respect on Rudy Ford's name in the special teams, bro. Like, my man is always the first one down there on every single punt and kick. He's fast as hell, man. Very good special teams player, but still has a lot of improvement to get out and get regular defensive reps.
Yep, I'm keeping him and getting rid of, it's either Epps or Ford going for me. It's not Will Parks, so. Right. But I get it if you're trying to get something in return because he's such a great drafter. He did so great with his picks. But, whatever. I get it, and Davian Taylor, Sean Bradley have been given more time to play. So, hey, if they think that they've seen something, I'm all for it. But I just haven't seen them give them too much time. So if that's the case, they're giving them more time. Sure, it's just an odd time because, like Evan said, we're not giving up yet, and this team for sure is not giving up. I guarantee you.
Mm-hmm. What's your thoughts on Alex Singleton? I think he's been stepping up recently.
I love him. Just like you were mentioning, a special teamer like Alex Singleton as well goes down and just hits people, and love to see it. And this year we talked about, hey, let's hope he gets some time on defense because Nate Gary is not good. And Now some people are, yeah, bro, you're gonna see it. It's just like, look, I'd love to believe I would, but Nate Gary sucks. And wow, has he sucked. Alex Singleton, he gets a chance. Guy gets a pick six running back. Oh, well, they throw it right to him. Well, that's because he put himself in the right position. Do you think Nate Gary's ever in the right position? No.
Yeah.
So that's why he doesn't have any pick sixes, you son of a bitch.
I've seen plenty of stills with Nate Gary just facing the complete wrong direction. So it's hard to get a pick when you're not facing the right direction, man.
Right. And it's like you're watching tape and you're like, oh, I wonder who this, and you just see him right away. And you're watching him. You're like, well, he's already not in the right position. And then the play's going, you're like, get it now. Okay. Well, this is right. And you got to imagine the tape room and people are just like, fucking Gary, dude.
Yeah. Yep. But it doesn't help that he gets put in positions where he's not going to win too. I mean the one that obviously everyone thinks about is that Steelers game, dude, when he was put on Claypool for Claypool's fourth touchdown of the day. And like I just remember watching him line up and I'm like, dude, okay, hold on a second. Let me rub my eyes here. So we got Nate Gary covering the guy who's got 3 touchdowns so far. I wonder how this is going to fucking go. Wonder who they're going to here. And as soon as the play starts, obviously touchdown. But like to me, that wasn't so much on Nate Gary as much as it was on Jim Schwartz. He should never have been in that position. And there should have been a timeout called exactly because you can tell exactly what the Steelers are going to do. Big Ben's licking his chops. He's like, oh my God, are you kidding me? Yeah.
You're watching it and it's like, dear God, no. Yeah. That's it. And that's on Jim too. So, I mean, Nate Gary has his struggles. He sucks. And yeah, he had a pick six last year, but he ain't done anything this year, man. Nothing at all. And, Bradley and Taylor have gotten their time on special teams, but I want to see it on defense. I want to see them given a chance. And now's the time, baby, because we've got nothing but injuries at the linebacker position now too. So another guy that was banged up was Jannard Avery got placed also on IR. That's unfortunate. We're going to have to talk.
Man. Everyone thinks. We've had a really good defensive line rotation so far this year. And
he added in. He didn't do too much, but there were games where he popped, right? And I mean, it's absolutely. A loss.
And so, like, anyone that would be taken away from that rotation, like, I really like what's going on there.
Yep.
And, they tend to get to the quarterback. They tend to get in the backfield no matter who's out there right now. So for him being down, that stinks. But, I guess that's better than someone like Sweat being out who's been playing even better. So.
Yeah. And he's at the back end of that depth. So,
yeah,
it's a bummer. That's how these other guys stay fresh and you have that rotation. But Vinny Curry came back last week. So you have some guys back. Unfortunately,
Malik Jackson back this week?
I was just going to say, so now we're going to talk about a little bit of good news here. Somebody who was a full participant today was actually Malik Jackson. So great to see him back. We really need him back. We talked about him missing 1 or 2 weeks. Hey, here he is. Full practice. Let's hope he's back. It's not a for sure, but this guy's a beast. Out of Cox, Hargrave, he, and Ridgeway. To be honest, it's been Jackson and Ridgeway that have stepped it up, which pisses me off. Do you think this could be a game where we attack? I know Zach Martin's pretty much their best lineman there, but do you think Cox and Hargrave could step it up?
I think the middle of that line could absolutely be blown up. And one thing about Malik Jackson too, dude, is like I didn't know too much about him when we got him last year. He ended up getting injured. What was it, the first game? And so like he was out the entire year. And Gail kept on talking about him too. He's like, man, when we get Malik Jackson back, I truly didn't know much about him. And then when he came back, I got to really see that. Like him just popping off in these first few games, like, oh shit, that's exactly what the middle of this D line was missing. You pair him next to Fletcher Cox, who is 9 times out of 10 taking a double team each play. You get someone as powerful as Malik Jackson there, right in the middle. Man, he could blow up the middle of that line for sure.
And I think Cox, if he would step it up more, I don't know what the hell's going on with him, but he's
not living up to the contract, in my opinion, man.
I've seen him one-on-one struggling, and it's pissing me off. So Ridgeway, the comment here, he got placed on IR last week. That's a bummer, we hate to see that because now Malik Jackson was banged up. T.Y. McGill probably gets brought up again. He was locked, as one of those practice squad guys. We'll see if he gets signed to the active roster because we need depth there. Anthony Rush, someone we talked about, he was in for a visit. We'll see what we do at the D tackle position, but Malik Jackson's a name that, good to have you back. This is somewhere we need to feast. And you can't forget Zeke Elliott. That's their running back. So they're going to try to feed him the ball. And if
What's
they
up
can
with
do
him
that,
though, man?
but
Past
hey,
two
he's had
games,
struggles.
what's
Just
up?
going to say, if we can make them one-dimensional and they're going to keep trying to run, try to dump it off, you have to get the linebackers covering Zeke, whether he's going out for a pat. It could still be a struggle. How do you see us handling Zeke Elliott?
Well, that's the thing, is that our defensive line, like the one good thing about our defense is we're pretty good in run stopping. So like if we can, like you said, make them one dimensional, we have Malik Jackson back. If we can stop Zeke Elliott, if we can get him to put the ball on the ground one time and then just get in his head a little bit, dude, like if the whole game plan ends up turning into DiNucci has to throw the ball, that's exactly where we want to be. Because that's when mistakes are going to happen. DiNucci is there because their arm is twisted. That is not the guy that they want to have out there. So if we can make sure that the game is in his hands, that's how we win this game, without a doubt.
Truth. And, we have been allowing way too many rushing yards, but that's a lot of part due to injury. And I'm not making excuses, just put it into context. And I think we've been usually pretty good against him. And he does have his games, but let's shut his ass down, make him one-dimensional, and let's whoop that ass. We talked about a lot of injuries, but here's a full list of it, just in case you guys missed any part of the show. But, Avery is listed here, and Gary, they were both placed on IR. As we had mentioned, Driscoll's out, as well as Jeffrey and Miles Sanders. Jesus.
Alshon Jeffrey with that mysterious calf injury.
Wow. Did you see that meme? It was like, oh, maybe they meant he got hurt carrying a calf, and it's like him holding a baby. I was like, I was dying. I was like, this is great. But yeah, we talked about him.
That to me, it just feels like a lie. Do you feel like they're lying to us?
Lying right to our face, and I finally can see right through them. He's gonna get traded, and I can't believe someone's gonna be stupid enough. But I'm holding on to a dream, baby. Get rid of his ass.
Exactly.
I don't care if it's for a bag of Ritz crackers. I don't care. Just
anything that we can get, like anyone that'll take his contract at this point. Like we are under, we're in cap hell as of right now for next year. So for any amount of money we can get, that can help out, that would definitely go a long ways.
For sure. And we are $84 million in the hole next year. We have $25 million right now in cap space. If we don't use any of that, that carries over. So you're looking around $59-60 million in cap over. That sucks. Get rid of Jackson. Get rid of Jeffrey. You're saving money by getting rid of some of these guys. We talked about restructuring Cox and Johnson earlier in the year. They both did that. We wonder what's going to happen with Ertz. Something's got to happen there. Maybe
I'm afraid we're going to lose
restructures.
Graham, bro.
And that's the one that I always big up. People are like, screw you, man. I'm like, look, he's getting older. I hate to talk about it, but if Derek Barnett had a good year, which he has been, that could be the case. And Josh Sweat's been balling. Those could be our defensive ends of the future.
It's a shame because I'm the guy who is like, I say all the time that I would be a ruthless owner. Like, I just want wins. I'm not in here for nostalgia and feel good stories and all that. But Brandon Graham is really a guy I wanted to retire as an Eagle, bro. Like, he's one of my favorites on the team right now. Has been for a long time.
Same here. Love the guy with all my heart. My dad really liked him, even though we don't like Michigan. He came out, and he's had an up-and-down career, but the kid kept fighting. And now he's a man, and he won us the Super Bowl. And you love the dude.
And we finally won the Earl Thomas conversation.
Yeah, man, for sure. And that's the one that always hurt for a long time, but came back around, baby.
Yep.
Bring your brother to the conversation. Now, we talk about a good question here with Mr. Nasty. Cox and Jackson or Corey, Simon, and Walker? Dude, you can't. Cox is amazing. But I love Simon and Walker as a kid, so I'm just going to roll with them for right now because I haven't seen enough. That's a tough one. What are you going with on that?
Interesting. I think I would go with Cox and Jackson.
Oh, they're definitely better. But I'm going nostalgia sakes. I'm being Howie for a sec. Holding on to 90-year-old
I do miss Corey Simon, bro. He was a great player.
Yeah, and D-Walk wasn't that great, but I still loved him. Those were my dudes. I remember playing Madden as a kid with them. Like, that's wild. Corey Simon.
Didn't Corey Simon score like a 90-something yard return, like fumble return? I thought I remember
he did something crazy. Yeah, it was something like that. Yep. Didn't he lose an eye or something too?
I don't remember that. That's crazy.
You can only see out one eye, something like that. I think so. Or that was one of our offensive linemen had that problem too. But I thought something happened to Corey for a little there.
Checking it.
Dude, they can't, for some reason, if they don't click the link at the top before they click in, it says it at the top. It won't show them. Facebook, you suck, and we're all letting you know. Facebook user, we're very hyped to see Jalen Reagor back.
Cannot wait.
Dude, this offense is finally going to open up. We have a speedy threat. I am more than excited about that. Before we roll out, though, do you have any thoughts on something that pretty wild? They talked about Zach Ertz being traded, getting trade offers from Baltimore Ravens and Green Bay Packers. That's pretty wild. So do you see him next year being an Eagle, or what do you see happening there?
Man, we talked about the whole cap situation. We've been, hearing it's completely out of Zach Ertz's character for him to be getting in the fight with Howie Roseman. There's this weird rift, and there's like a tension in the air that you can feel this year between, like, because Carson and Zach are like boys, and like it feels like that's kind of just starting to wean away a little bit. I don't know what's going on. I have in the past been on the trade Zach Ertz train before. I've been there. I'm not saying I'm on there right now. I think that he's a crucial part of of this team. He's the most sure-handed tight end, like in my mind. But the thing is that I really truly do think that Dallas Goedert is a more complete tight end. I think down the line, Dallas Goedert ends up, if Zach is here, I think Dallas Goedert ends up overtaking him on the depth chart eventually once he develops a little bit more. And because of that, I can see why the Eagles would be thinking about trading him. I do get it, but I do like having the 2 tight end packages. So that's something I would hate to lose. But at the same time, Zach Ertz should get you a good return. So it's I'm kind of on the fence about it. You know what I mean?
Same here, but it took me a while to even get in that conversation. I didn't want to talk about it, and I'm there now too because it's like, look, he wants more money. We don't want to give it to him. We have Goddard, blah, blah, blah. And I love the 12 personnel, but we talked about it. You might only have it for a few years, so use it while you can. He'll come back 3 to 5 weeks. We'll have Goddard back. We'll see what we can do this year with these receiver options. We talk about Rager, Fulgham, and Ward being together. That's beautiful. Miles come back healthy. Ertz and Goddard, this offensive line get healthy. With Carson Wentz, baby, we can beat anybody.
I tell you,
it starts this week at Dallas. Beat their ass.
I tell you what, too. Like, I'm just thinking about both those teams as well, both Green Bay and Baltimore. Zach would ball the hell out on either one of those teams, man. Like, he really would. Like, I'm thinking about him with Aaron Rodgers. Like, bro, like that would be legendary shit right there. And so I think there would definitely be some seller's remorse if we were to watch him get traded to one of those teams and then he's just popping off 100-yard games after 100-yard game. We'd be like, damn, we really gave that up. But, it's Aaron Rodgers and Lamar Jackson. What the fuck?
Yeah. That'd be wild to see. I'm sure Ertz was sitting there like, ooh. But I mean, we'll see what happens next year. That's definitely going to be something that we talk a lot about. But this year, we're going to get him back. We're going to see what he can do. Didn't get traded because now he's on IR.
Yep.
So talked about a lot, and I truly appreciate having you on tonight,
Thank
Evan.
you for having me.
Yeah, of course, man. We truly talked about everything we possibly could, and without getting too brutal on the Cowboys. So that was nice. We just kept it real. But you guys know, it's fuck Dallas, dude. You all know that. But, we're going to get rolling out. But before we do, Evan, I want to give you the time to talk to these people here. If you have any last words.
Yeah, so 4th and Jawn, we're going to be doing a pregame show, 5:30 this Sunday. Jimmy will be there as well. Be sure to tune in. We're just going to be talking everything leading up to kickoff. We're going to have Alex on. He's going to be making some pulled pork, or I believe it's pulled pork sandwiches for the game. So he'll give you the recipe there. A lot of Eagles talk. Looking forward to it, and looking forward to beating some Dallas Cowboy ass this weekend. It's going to be a good weekend. I'm looking forward to it.
Definitely. And you guys definitely show up. We always have our pregame at 4th and Jawn I let you guys know about. But this week, obviously, we have a night game. Gonna start at 5:30, baby. So get in there. Get pumped for the game. We're going to be talking throughout the day about it, but we'll be on there, 4th and Jawn. Head on over. I'll be posting the links. You guys know you can always find them on the page. You have a great weekend yourself, Mark, Traber, Alex, Mr. Nasty himself out there. Thank you guys all. Facebook user. You guys are just so special and near and dear to my heart. But Evan, thank you so much for coming on tonight, man.
Thank you.
Hope you guys all have a safe weekend leading up to it. Try not to get too crazy, not punch any Cowboys fans in the face tomorrow when you're out trick-or-treating, because they're out there, man. You got to watch out. But, you guys
they
all
can't
have
give the Cowboys fans the junior mints. That's what they get.
Oh, yeah, dude. They get an apple. Just nothing good here. We're just going to make sure that they go home pissed off. Like, yeah, it was a straight jerk. Well, you better get used to it. That's how Eagles fans are. So we're going to get heading out for the night. I know that I'm probably not going to sleep the next couple nights because I literally get so pumped up for these games. But I'm going to need rested up because it's going to be a big game, baby. As always, Dallas sucks. And go Roar!